2017, which is the first column, to 2017-18. So we have an increase of $1,063,000. That is the bulk of where our additional funds are coming from. Unfortunately, we're not like a corporation where we can go out and try and sell some additional products or come up with some new idea and make a lot of money. Our fund balance is actually slightly decreased from the year before by $14,000. That money comes from the excess surplus from 2015-16. So it's set aside to budget for 17-18. Our tuition revenue, again, there is a slight reduction in that area projected for next year. That money is generated from any students that we can house in our special ed programs from other districts, as well as our preschool integrated program. And we have a couple of staff members who do bring their children here and pay us tuition.
And unfortunately, as our space issues compound, our ability to bring in tuition-paying students continues to decrease. So again, that's tied very much to what we've talked to you about all year. Our space issues, our shrinking classroom. We don't have space to bring in tuition-paying students if we can't continue to expand.
Transportation revenue will stay flat. We have a transportation agreement with Belleville, so they pay us to transport some of their students along with our students. Our interest on our capital reserve account has increased due to the balance that we have been maintaining in that account, so that provides us with an additional $1,000. The miscellaneous category includes rentals from our buildings, our E-rate program that we receive money from the federal government, and also our extended day program. So that should be a plus, not a minus. So there's a little error there. That should be a plus of $6,000. Our state aid is relatively flat. We received an additional $319 this year. But that $319 we received is called host district aid, and that is because we have students who attend a charter school. So the state gives us a whole $319 to help offset the cost that we have to pay those other districts, those charter schools, as well as the transportation or aid in lieu that those parents are entitled to. So it comes nowhere near close to what our actual expenses are.
I was going to say, I think you should tell people what those expenses are.
So
they give us $319.
Yeah, right. We received $319. We have 6 students who will be attending charter schools next year. We have to give those charter schools approximately $76,000. Plus, the parents of those students receive about $800 per student in aid in lieu for their transportation. So we're getting closer to a $95,000 bill, and the state gives us $319. Extraordinary aid is aid that we apply for each and every year. It's an intensive, laborious effort that is undertaken by the Director of Special Services and our Assistant VA, Mr. Marmora. And they have to look at every single student that is either going out of district for special needs or is in district but receiving additional services. When we reach certain thresholds per student, we are entitled to some money back from the government. We have been able to increase that each year as we get better and better at doing this reporting. So next year we are projecting an increase of $125,000 in that revenue. Semi-Medicaid, again, is tied into the special ed program, and that is a number that actually comes to us from the state that we are required to budget. And we have been exceeding the state's estimates, again, because of the diligence that is being done in the special ed department. We do not have any money set aside in large capital improvements for 17-18. Last year, we had money set aside to purchase the church property, as well as we did a lot of projects throughout the district with our maintenance reserve to do a lot of paving and curbing and sidewalk replacements. And then that final number of 2.5 million in the first column are all of the purchases that were made actually in 2015-16 at the end of the school year that we had not received goods or services for. So they carry over into the 16-17 budget because they're actually being paid during this year, but it is all from last year's funds. So overall, last year, 16-17's budget is 65.3 million. And our budget for 17-18 is 62.6 million. Again, that large difference mostly being attributed to the prior year encumbrances. If we took that line out, we're about $300,000 less than the previous year. So this is a highlight of the various expenditure categories, and it shows you where the increases and decreases are occurring. In the regular instruction line, again, that's where most of those encumbrances are. That's why you see a large difference of $1.4 million. Special ed instruction is going up by $300,000. A lot of that is attributed to the new staff that we need to add. Where else do we? Student services, that is increasing by about $400,000. That includes your out-of-district tuitions, it includes the guidance, the media, the nurses, every other service that is available to students that is not directly in one of our classrooms. Our school administration line, we've been able to reduce by $15,000. You see the $30,000 reduction in professional development that Dr. Glazer spoke of. And the plant and operations maintenance budget is going up by about $83,000. As well as pupil transportation of about $49,000. And those both include contractual salary obligations as well. We have a reduction in our business services and technology staff department of about $44,000 due to retirement and other cuts in supply lines. Employee benefits, big number on the budget. Last year was $11,700,000. This year's budget is $12.1 million. That number started out a lot higher than that because the initial projection for health benefits alone was 12.5%. We've worked closely with our broker and our final number came in at 8.8%. But still, that's $400,000 that needs to be budgeted just for all of the employee benefits across the board. The reduction in capital outlay, as I explained already, that we are not doing a large capital reserve project, and we haven't included anything from maintenance reserve. Those projects will be determined as we go through the year. And the last item shows the transfer to the charter schools. So currently this year it was $37,000 because we only had 3 students. There are 6. So now that number increases, it doubles to about $75,000. So our general fund operating budget is $62.6 million for 2017-18. With that number, of that 62.6, overall salaries are 37.8, which is 60.4% of our budget. Pension and benefits of 12.1, another 19.3. So right there, you can see 80% of our budget goes to salaries, pension, benefits. It doesn't leave a lot of discretionary funding. And again, we're highlighting the charter school tuition because that is something that is new to us. Our tax levy for 17-18, $54,216,429, and that represents 80% of our total revenue. And our 2% increase is highlighted, which is the $1,063,067. So how does that affect the homeowners of Nutley? On the general fund tax levy, on the average assessed home, which is $316,417, there's an increase of $83.52, which comes to 0.264 cents per 100 in value. This is actually lower than last year's by about $20. The town valuation overall valuation of the town has gone up by a little over $8 million. So that helps to spread the tax levy amongst a larger tax base. So that helps to decrease the impact on each individual homeowner. And then the debt service tax levy on that same average assessed house is an increase of $1.26, which comes to 0.004 cents per $100. Is there anything else you want to add?